Hello and welcome to another video here at Driver Training UK. In today's video we're going to be following an actual driving test in Winchester, the student's first test. So we're heading out of Winchester Test Centre. It's a nice bright day and we're going to be turning left onto Christchurch Road. It's quite quiet today. It's about 10 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday. Heading towards the hospital, St James's Lane. We're going to be turning left at the end of this road. The road to the left can be quite difficult to see as it's a blind bend, so we have to be extra careful. There are also a lot of parked cars down these particular roads near the test centre, so do take your time. Be mindful of other drivers coming down the road quite quickly, so plan ahead, look down the road as far as you can and adjust your speed accordingly. Stay over to the left hand side, so in case you do meet other vehicles you're in a good position to deal safely with those conditions. Up ahead we're going to be turning left. Now we're joining St James's Lane and it's a very narrow road. So one thing to do is stay more to the middle of this junction so that you avoid the curb, and then just creeping forward very slowly, looking carefully in both directions, steering towards the left as you pull away. And that's well done. Again, the road here is very narrow. Speed reduces to 20 miles an hour, but it is going uphill. Just to the left, there is another junction. It's quite blind, but we're heading straight ahead, and the road up ahead does become very tight. Go slowly, go carefully, and just expect cars to be slightly more over to your side of the road when they're coming round this tight bend here to the right. Again, if you do touch the curb, it's not a fail as long as you're nice and slow and being careful as you follow the road round. And the student here has done very well to negotiate that particular corner. At the top of St James's Lane there's a stop sign and you must come to a complete stop. Now the way the junction's laid out, you will most likely come to a complete stop anyway. Check both ways for pedestrians, cars coming along Romsey Road, the road we're going to be turning right onto, and just be patient, but look for those clear opportunities. Or we're going left rather than right. So to our left is the hospital, and on our right is Winchester Prison. This particular section of road has a lot of bus stops, pedestrian crossings. There's an A&E department, so you'll often get yellow boxes for the ambulances to be able to turn into. So a lot of forward planning and looking ahead. There's a university to our right. At certain times of day, you'll get a lot more pedestrians around, so be careful of the crossings. Hazards can be difficult to see with the trees and the shade. When you're driving in the winter sun, do be mindful of the glare through the windscreen. If you need to use the visor, bring that down. Slow down or squint if you need to. We're going to be turning right at this small roundabout, mini roundabout. The road from the right can be quite difficult to see, so right up to the line. Make sure you can see clearly to the right and look for cars blocking the cars coming in from the right if they're going straight over the roundabout, or a safe gap. And remember to check your mirrors, signal left and take your exit. We're now joining Chilbolton Avenue and it's a 40-mile-an-hour road. But before all of that, there's lots of various crossroads, crossings, junctions. So speed limit's not a target. It's the limit for the road. Do be mindful when you are making progress, and one is expected to make progress, that you do it safely and you plan ahead. It has been asked to follow the satnav, so the examiner's not giving them any instructions at this point. This is a wide avenue, but there can often be roadworks down this particular stretch. At the end of the road, we're going to be turning left, first exit at the roundabout. Just before the roundabout, there is a pedestrian crossing that you need to be aware of. Again, the roads in Winchester can be very difficult to see clearly, so pause, check at least twice when you're looking right and left. Up ahead, there is a mini roundabout, and the satnav is telling the student to turn right, second exit. Before the roundabout, there is a crossing and a junction, so look out for the sign. You can see the blue sign in front of us, slowing down and checking that it's safe. Just as you turn into the exit, signal left, and then there's a pedestrian crossing. This area here, weak, it's a shopping area, so be very mindful. The road ahead will narrow, so it's only room for one vehicle at a time. Do be careful, do be considerate, but make progress if someone's allowing you through safely. There is a school and a pedestrian crossing. To our right, again, this is in the morning, so no students around. as you're aware, the examiner will ask you to pull up on the left at various times throughout your test. So students are going to be asked to pull up on the left, so checking your mirrors. So yeah, we have a place here we're going to be stopping, checking our mirrors, signalling left, and then stopping near the curb nice and safely. And when you're moving off, check your blind spots, signal and move off when it's safe. The student did get a minor fault for one of their moving off procedures. At the end of Stony Lane, which is what we're on now, we're going to be turning onto Andover Road North, going left. A very fast road, so be mindful of the traffic, but again, it's quiet today. Now, the road we're joining is 40 miles an hour, so we should be making some progress along this stretch of road. Don't drive around too cautiously. If the road's clear, make sure you follow the road safely and continue to make progress. Now, the student, I think, has made an error on the satnav, so they've not followed the satnav correctly, and I think at some stage the examiner has said we're going to be turning the vehicle round to go a different way to continue on the test. So it's not a problem if you do make a mistake. It's not a fail if you do make a mistake when following the satnav, but what the examiner's asked the student to do is going to be turning right at the next junction. So there's one sign here. There's another sign here telling us where we're going to be turning. So we're going to be turning right. The student should have been moving over already, signalling right, moving over to the right-hand lane. They've missed those three signs. The junction is here on the right. You can see the road markings, and we should have been clearly over to the right and turning right. What the student has done here, started to slow down and turn from the left-hand lane. That's quite clearly a serious fault for not responding to the road markings. Unfortunate error there. And now we're back on track to follow the next part of the route. We're now heading back towards Winchester itself. Just speeding up the film here because it's a road back to Winchester city centre. We're going to be turning right here into Stony Lane. And the examiner's asked us to pull over and stop again. So that's a second stop on the left. If you have made a mistake, continue to drive safely, doing your safety procedure, moving off, checking blind spots, moving off when it's safe. We have a crossroad coming up. It's not this turning on the left, it's the next turning on the left, and the examiner's asked the student to turn left. Again, we're now entering a residential area and the roads will narrow somewhat, so be careful. Look ahead, plan ahead. Make sure you're checking your mirrors when you're overtaking parked vehicles. We're on Berwick Road at this moment. Again, this is our third pull up on the right. This is more of a hill start here, so be careful as you pull away. We're now heading towards the Winchester city centre. Again, this part of Winchester does have various junctions, so be mindful. There's a mini roundabout, and we're going to be turning right at the roundabout second exit. Make sure you signal to the right, check the cars on the right, and then signalling left to take your exit. At the top of the hill, there is another mini roundabout. The road to the left is a no entry, and so we're just looking at the cars, and they'll both be going straight over. Just looking at cars on the left there, but it is your priority to make it through that part of the roundabout. The road layout here has changed. It used to be two-way, now it's only one way down the road. At the bottom of the road, you're only able to turn right at this junction. You can see the sign there for no turning left and the arrow turning right. Now, ideally, you want to be positioned so that you can see clearly to the left. Students just slightly too far over to the right, but they did manage to negotiate this section reasonably well. Ideally, you want to come in when you're at a junction like this, you want to come in so that your car is pointing perpendicular to the new road rather than at an angle. It's always harder to see traffic from your left shoulder. The only saving grace is that there is a crossing there, so that will help you when you're pulling out. We're going to be turning left back into St James's Lane. And heading back towards the test centre. Again, this road very narrow, so do take your time Stay closer to the curb. Again, if you do touch the curb because there's a vehicle there, that's not a fail. Just take it nice and slow. Just at this part of the junction, as we're heading downhill, we have to give way to oncoming traffic. This is also a place that pedestrians cross, so do be careful as you're waiting there that you have checked that there aren't any pedestrians looking to run across the road or walk across the road. And as you get to the giveaway line, just look further down the road, because often cars are turning from Christchurch Road, so do be careful when you get to that point. I'm going to be turning right into Christchurch Road. Again, taking your time. As you turn in, look up the road, anticipate oncoming traffic. And now that you're on the other side of the road, just drive at a speed that you can deal with any cars that might be traveling towards you. It's important that you go at a speed that is safe. Staying on Christchurch Road. And then we're going to be turning right at this crossroad. Now, students just sort of paused here to work out what's going on. He didn't have to stop. It was safe for him to continue. Didn't really get any minors for that. Again, this is another pull up on the left, probably our third of the test so far. Normally you'll be doing between sort of 4 and asked to do it 4 or 6 times on your test. So it is a skill we do need to do. At the top of this road, we're going to be turning right onto Ranley Road. Again, this is a tricky road as there's a lot of parked cars on both sides. So creeping forward, checking that it's safe, and then moving off when it's safe. Now we're turning onto St. Cross Road. Slightly busier road, but again, it's a quiet time of the day. And we're going to be turning left, making sure we check for any pedestrians crossing the road. Now we're on our way back to the test centre. One final turn to the left into Christchurch Road. Again, this is a blind uphill section of the road, so always anticipate oncoming traffic. Stay focused all the way through your test. Don't switch off even if you think you've made a mistake. Try your best to stay focused. Stay safe. And finally, we're entering the test centre. So we're turning right into the test centre, and you may have noticed the student hasn't done their manoeuvre. So the examiner is now going to ask the student to perform a reverse bay park, choosing a bay which would be on their left and finishing within the lines. In Winchester, they normally do the reverse bay park in the test centre itself. It's quite a nice large car park, so it gives you plenty of room to get round. Still requires good observations, checking around, making sure it's safe while you're reversing. Now, it's absolutely fine to make corrections while you're reversing. As you can see, unfortunately, the student did fail this test. They got one serious fault, and then 2 for mirror checks, 1 for moving off, 1 for junctions, and 1 finally for this reverse park. Because they had to make a correction, they got a minor. But overall, the drive was good, except for that serious fault. Well, thanks for watching this video. I hope it's been helpful, and we'll see you on the next video.